weekly edition of our StaySmart newsletter and podcast, brought to you by Viciniti Corporate Housing, where we try to keep you updated on what we see happening in the news, anything that we think is going to be relevant to you or to your company. I'm coming from my home office today. I'm actually feeling a little bit under the weather this week, so hopefully this podcast goes okay. We do have some good articles this week. The first one is a report from the Highland Group about the U.S. extended hotel segment. Actually doing really well. We've talked about previously on this podcast about how that segment's done really well. But part of this, according to this report, has been the slow new supply growth. Last year, there was a record low of just 1.8% new supply growth in that segment, which has been able to, with low supply but still good demand, they saw almost a 5% growth in RevPAR last year. And a lot of this, high cost of construction and interest rates. So be interesting to watch this. The extended stay hotel segment's done really well. Whether it's leisure travel or just travel in general has come back. I think the extended stay hotel segment is going to continue to do well into the new year. And then the next article is actually kind of really interesting. Frontier Airlines has had this Go Wild unlimited flights program that they rolled out last year, almost a year ago, but now they've partnered with Landing, which is a furnished apartment company, with Landing's Nomad Pass. So you can combine the Frontier Airlines with the Nomad Pass, and so you can fly unlimited and stay unlimited for about $1,500 a month. This article, what's interesting is kind of what's the catch, and there's a lot of different rules and regulations. Frontier Airlines is typically you have to book the flight less than 24 hours out, pay for all the extra fees and luggage and baggage and everything like that. Landing, this is their standby program, not their standard program. So you are basically staying standby. If a standard pass holder wants that apartment, you can kind of get bumped, and then if you have tons of flexibility and you're wanting to, especially if this article talks about if you're going to be staying in the areas that they fly to a lot and Landing has inventory, then great. Whether it's Denver or other markets that Frontier's in a lot, this makes a lot of sense. You just got to look at all the kind of rules and regulations on this to see. I'll be interested to see how this works out. I know Frontier did not see a big bump when they rolled this out, so we'll see with the combination of the Nomad Pass if this works out. And then there's an article about the K-10 filing for Marriott and Hilton. Just a ton of good information about how Marriott and Hilton have done last year. There's tons of things in this report, and it's kind of long. I think there's 12 key takeaways. It talks about diversity and sustainability and profitability and things like that. What I took out was really interesting was just the massive number of the reward members in these programs. Hilton's actually catching up to Marriott. They're up to 180 million members, and Marriott has 196 million members, and Hilton's gaining on them. So it's just amazing the size and scope of the rewards program for the two largest hotel brands, hotel groups globally. So some really good information there. If you're kind of a hotel nerd like me, check it out. And then finally, there's an article about RealPage, and there is an antitrust lawsuit against them in New York. We've talked about this previously on this podcast about how RealPage, their pricing algorithms that they use, the programs that they use to help landlords set rent rates, has been very profitable for them and for the communities that they work with. But this lawsuit is basically saying that it's antitrust. It's a collusion system to raise rents. So I think this will be really fascinating to watch, because whether it's RealPage or the Yardi system or whatever it is, yield management systems in the apartment industry have really taken off over the last 10 or 15 years. Most apartment communities that we work with utilize some sort of yield management system. So it'll be interesting to see if this is an illegal system or not, according to this lawsuit. But I think I will definitely be watching this. Those are the articles that we have this week. If there's anything that you'd like to hear us talk about, please let us know. that's what I see transitioning this week. Take care, everyone.